about a woman, we will call her Yato, which means girls in Chinese, a name that carries warmth and familiarity. Just as she did, Yato was 28 years old when the life threw her the cruelest carper, a terminal illness. Before that, she was an outstanding media director, sharp and driven, and at the peak of her career. Yeah, at the peak of her career. So let's continue to talk about the book, okay? The book is The Eternal Love, written by Chinese author Xuemo. Yato was 28 years old when life threw her the cruelest carper, a terminal illness. Yeah. Before that, she was an outstanding media director, sharp, driven, and the peak at her career. She was just like any other accomplished professional you might know, rushing between the meetings, refining champagnes, and chasing the next big achievements. But there was nothing out of the ordinary about her until the illness turned her world upside down. Until the illness turned her world upside down. Yeah. What happened next? There was nothing short of extraordinary. She faced her illness. She faced her illness with a resilience and bravery that most of us can barely fathom, all while choosing to live joyfully. If you met Yato on the street, you'd never guess the agony she was enduring. Not for a single moment would her smile would, would her smile give away the pain that consumes her. Yeah. Hi, would you like to drink some water? Would you like to drink some water? Actually, some tea, okay? Hi, viewer, welcome to our live stream, okay? So let's continue to talk about the story, okay? What happened next? Though was nothing of sort of extraordinary. Yeah, hi, welcome. Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you, okay? Ilu, okay? Inu, nice to meet you. Okay, so today I'm going to share you the book written by Chinese author Xuemo. Okay, and this book, her name is Yato. Okay, hi, I'm here to share you a book written by Chinese author Xuemo. And this book is about the 34 exchange letters between the author Xuemo and the main character Yato. The main character Yato, she got a tongue cancer, and the doctor said she only have 2 or 3 months left to live. But under the guidance by our author Xuemo, she lived for more 4 years. Although her body was in agony, but her mind was peaceful. Yeah. So how can this lady live for more 4 years? Yeah, live for more 4 years. So now I'm going to sharing you the story. Okay. Yato was 28 years old when life threw her the cruelest curveball. Okay, a terminal illness. Before that, she was an outstanding media director, sharp and driven. At, at the peak of her career, she was just like any other accomplished professional you might know, rushing between the meetings, refined campaigns, and chasing the next big dreams. Okay? There was nothing out of ordinary about her until the illness turned her world upside down. What happened next? There was nothing sort of extraordinary. She faced her illness with resilience and bravery that most of us can barely fathom, all while choosing to live joyfully. So if you met Yato in the street, you'd never guess the agony she was enduring. Yeah, not for a single moment will her smile give away the pain that consumes her. Whether she was awake or drifting into full sleep. Okay, even the simplest, most mundane tasks, sipping the water, brushing her teeth, yeah, brushing her teeth, take a bite of food, felt like touches to her, felt like touches to her. Yato has a beautiful and melodious voice, but she couldn't speak a single word. The pen locked her up there too. Yet, whenever someone looked at her, they saw a calm, serene, and peaceful face, as if nothing was wrong with her. Yeah, new, okay, even new here, don't forget to subscribe our channel. Yeah, this is Louis from Western China. I'm here to share you the book written by Chinese author Xuemo. Yeah, so and here's the most inspiring part. Even in her darkest moment, Yato's heart was always turned toward others. So in her last 4 years, she read the book written by Chinese author Xuemo and she take the notes while she was reading. And then she take all the golden sentence together and put all the golden sentence together into one book. And this book is called Exceptional Cruelness, written by Chinese author Xuemo and added by the main character of Eternal Love Yato. So when you read the book, you can find a lot of golden sentences from our author Xuemo's work. And also you can enjoy the painting was drawn by our author Xuemo. Yeah. The painting, yeah, a lot of painting are here. Yeah. Can you see that? The Chinese painting. So let's continue to talk about the book, okay? So our authorship, Yato, the main character of Yato from Eternal Love, she combined the books that offer comfort and the wisdom to those in need. Yeah. And during her last 4 years, she did a lot of things just to help the people around her. So she also started a support program to take the book into the prison. So before this program start, the prisoner in China they only can walking and they also watch the TV during their spare time. So the main character of Yato from Eternal Love, she donate a program. She donate the program and she start the program, put the book into the prison. From that program starts, our author Xuemo, Mr. Xuemo answer a lot of strange phone from the prison. Yeah. So that is the program start with the Eternal Love main character Yato. So Yato do a lot of things, big or small, just to help the people around her. Yeah, that hardship transformed her. Once a stumble, headstrong woman, she grows soft and compassionate, someone worthy our deepest respect, a true role model for all of us. So what carried her through? First, her faith, something that anchored her when the world felt unsteady. It was the suffering itself that forced her into something stronger. It didn't break her, it refined her, like the fire turning rough into shining metals. Yeah. And this story teaches us a powerful truth. Suffering isn't the enemies of our life. What's truly terrifying is giving up when adversity hits. Yeah, it's letting hardship push us into retreat instead of leaning into it and growing through it. Think about it. No matter who we are, no matter if we have faith, no matter if we are chasing the big dreams or taking life one day at a time, suffering and sudden life altering change will find us. Okay? That's just part of being human. But how many of us can face those moments with calm acceptance? So few, right? Those who can face the hardship head on, they often get swept away by the tides of time, leaving no lasting mark. But those who can stand firm, who embrace the struggle and keep going, they become the star of the era, guiding lives for others who might be lost in their own storm. For some people, The hardship isn't a curse, it's a blessing in disguise. It is a karmic gift that pushes them to dig deeper, to discover gems they never knew they have, and to live a life of a greater purpose. Hi viewer, this is Louis from Western China. I'm here to share you the book written by Chinese author Xuemo. And this channel is dedicated to sharing you the spiritual wisdom and human warmth found in the words of Chinese author Xuemo. So if you're new here, don't forget to subscribe our channel for more updates and for more wisdom books. Yeah, I'm here to share you this story, not to make you feel sad, but to remind you whether you're going through something tough right now or you know someone who is. That courage isn't the absence of fear. Even when you're hurting, it is letting your struggle shape you, not break you. Yato's story from the eternal love isn't just about one woman's fight. It's about what we are all capable of when we choose to keep going. So whatever you're facing today, remember, we are stronger than we think. We are, and sometimes the hardest chapter of our life become the one that define us in the best way. Yeah. So, hi viewer, welcome in. Okay, welcome in. Whether you're here from US, Europe, or South America, I'm so glad you took a minute out of your busy days to hang with me. Yeah, let's start with a question that gonna hit close to home. Have you ever had one of those moments where the life feels is throwing every bad things at you at once? Just like you get a scary doctor's note, a relationship falls apart, or you just wake up feeling totally hopeless. Yeah, if that was ever been you, join yes in the chat right now because that's exactly where our main characters start in eternal love. Yeah, hi, Peter. Nice to meet you. Yeah, so and this story was written, and this novel is written by our author Xuemo. Okay, and this novel is going to change how you see pain, love, and even life itself. Yeah. First, let me set the scene so you're right there with her. Yato is a regular woman. She's got people she loves, worried about paying bills just like you and me. She was 28 years old at the years of 2009. Yeah. Mm, killing it in her career, admired by everyone, full of big dreams. Then a routine checkup hit her like a truck. Okay. Late stage tongue cancer for this lady. Okay. And the doctor said she only have 2 or 3 months left to live. Can you imagine that? When Imagine that a girl planning her next promotion. The next, she is starting at the next, yeah, she is starting at a death sentence. Her work crashed. Her work crashed. Yeah. She have no idea what to do. Okay, she have no idea what to do. She just sat in the hospital and screaming, "Why me? Why me?" Has anyone here ever had a moment where the life felt like it punched you into the gut, where everything you thought was slowly fell apart? If that was you, type yes in the chat because Yato's pain is universal. Yeah. After Yato diagnosed by the doctor that's got a tongue cancer, okay, She have no idea what to do, and she's just sitting on the bench in the hospital and just cries. She was so scared of the pain, scared of leaving her family, scared that her whole life was for nothing. That was the dark place this book starts. But I promise you, this is not a dark book. This book is a book about how the light finds you. Yeah? Even when you cannot see it. The book is Eternal Love, written by Chinese author Xuemo. Yeah? So look what I've got in my hand, this book. Yeah? This stunning hardcover of Eternal Love, written by Chinese author Xuemo. Just feel the cover, deep violet, with rose gold moon, and the sun, and the star, sun tangle with the moon. Yeah, isn't it breathtaking? Isn't it breathtaking? It is like, and that design is exactly what the book about. Yeah, light and dark, life and death, disappear and love, dancing together forever. Let me tell you, this isn't just a book. This book isn't just a book. It's a story that will reach right into your chest and make you feel and really feel. And the story in this book is according to the true story. Hi, if you are even new here, don't just feel free to subscribe our channel. Yeah, this is Louis from Western China. I'm here to share you the book written by Chinese author Xuemo. Yeah, so our author Xuemo didn't in this book is about 34 exchange letters. Miss Xuemo didn't give Yato medical advice. Our author Xuemo gave her the spiritual medicine. Yeah, he asked her to look inside at the anger, the resentment, the wood she carried since childhood. Yato grew up with a super strict dad. She grew up with a super strict dad, and her dad is a retired soldier. And her dad's rules made her rebellious, made her feel unloved and trapped. She hated her dad for it, blamed her mom for being quiet, and pushed anyone away. So can you imagine that? Yato was growing up in such a strictness family. Yeah, she grew up in such a strictness family. So um, when Yato go to the university, she was also beaten by her father. So that is the reason why Yato she got married as soon as possible when she graduated from university. So what made Yato feel hurt is not the marriages, okay? It's about her husband is another man who want to control her. So after Yato come back from work, her husband will check her phone number. If there was a strange phone number on Yato's phone telephone, so her husband will recall back. If there is a man call, and then Yato was beaten by her husband, and then that wasn't the nightmare. Okay, that's not the worst for her life. The worst is that her husband betrayed Yato, and she have a relationship with another lady, and then divorced with Yato. Okay, betrayed Yato, divorced with Yato, and remarried to another lady. So that made Yato made so hurt. Okay, so Yato, when she leave her family, she just escaped from one nightmare to another nightmare. Yeah, and and Yato, she pushed anyone away. Then the illness came and made all those around her born even hotter. Yeah, through the letters, through the letters, 34 of the letters between our author Xuemo and the main character Yato, which make up this book. Yeah. So something has changed. Something has changed. Yato started to see her dad not as a monster, but as a man who loved in his own messy, imperfect way. And her dad's strength, it was fear. Fear of Yato getting hurt, fear of falling Yato. Yato's mother's silence, not weakness, but a quiet strength. When Yato softened her heart, Yato's world warmed up. Yato's whole world warmed up. That is the magic here. All suffering starts in the mind, so the cure does too. It's not about fixing the outside, this book. It's about healing the inside. Yeah, it's about healing the inside. Think about your own pain. Is it the event itself that hurts, or the story you tell yourself about it? You have to learn that what truly hurt us is the gap between the expectation and the reality. So what that hurt us is about the gap between the expectation and the reality. Yeah. So draw a yes if you ever been hurt more than by your own why me than the things itself, my friend. Yeah. So Yato's transformation, her transformation is start with forgiveness. Okay? Not that I'll say sorry but still hold a grudge can. It is a real deep forgiveness. Yeah? Yato wrote her dad. She wrote her dad a letter. She wrote her dad a letter telling him that she understood, that she loved him. And do you know what happens? Yato's panic faded. Her sleep got better. Even her pain felt more bearable. Forgiveness didn't change her dad, but changed Yato herself. It freed Yato from carrying the heavy anger around. This book slams down the line that forgiveness is letting someone off the hook. Actually, it's letting ourselves off the hook. Yeah. So Yato's story shows that holding on resentment, it is like drinking poison and waiting for the other people to die. It only hurts yourself. Yeah. It only hurts you. It only hurts yourself. Have you ever carried in a grudge that weighing you down? Maybe it's a parent, a friend, and even yourself. This book will give you the courage to let it go. Ty, I'm ready if that was you. Okay, now let's talk about at the beginning of the story. And one afternoon, and one cloudy and rainy afternoon, Yato go to the hospital for the routine body checkup. And the doctor said Yato got a tongue cancer. She only have 2 or 3 months left to live. Yeah, she only have 2 or 3 months left to live. But under the guidance by our author Xuemo, Yato lived for more 4 years, not just surviving, not just thriving. Yato meditated. She practiced compassions. She practiced compassions. Yeah, she even made a vow. Can you imagine that? Such a unique lady. She even made a vow. May I take on the suffering of all who are ill, so the loves met the worst colonies. Can you imagine that? When Yato's body was in agony, her mind was peaceful. So during Yato's morning exercise, Yato just do the visualization like this. So she visualized that her body was chopping into the very small piece, okay, and feed all the starving sentient beings. Yeah. So he sent all the piece of her body to feed the for feeding the starving sentient being. Yeah. Can you imagine that? When her body was in agony, her mind was peaceful. Yeah. Also, she also visit the other can patients in the hospital and listen to their fear and share her hope. Compare that to Yato's cousin. Yato's cousin, he got stomach cancer and he was so scared. Yato's cousin jumped off a building and commit suicide. Two people, same diagnosis, totally different ending. Do you know why? Because because the main character of Yato in this book, she didn't find death. She found freedom in it. She learned that the greatest miracle isn't living longer, it's living with a heart that is awake. Hi, Nunu. Nice to meet you. Hi, nice to meet you. Okay, how's anything? I'm so happy you're here with me today, Nunu. Okay, Nunu, even new here. Where's Wendy? Wendy is taking a rest. Okay, Wendy is taking a rest. Yeah. So Wendy, it will take the live session maybe later, Nunu. Okay. So Nunu, have you ever subscribed our channel? If you're new here, don't forget, just feel free to subscribe our channel for more updates and for more wisdom books. Yeah. I'm a new boy. Yeah, actually, I do the live stream in this channel about half years ago. Okay, half years ago, and then from April, okay, we do the live sessions in another channel, Xuemo Reader. Okay, no, Xuemo Reader. Okay, so you can search Xuemo Reader. Okay, on YouTube. Okay, so I do another. How much do you earn? So guess, I'm here to share you the book, not for the money, okay? Not for the promotion. I'm here to share you the book. I just want to help the people who need the love from this book, who need the wisdom to get rid of their pain, to get rid of their suffering. $1. Oh, that's so much for me, okay? That's so much for me. Thank you. No, no. Where are you from? Are you from US? Are you from US? Yeah, thank you so much. Okay, no, no. They don't pay. Who don't pay? Of course, they pay for me. Yeah, they pay for me. Okay. Okay, can you see that? The background behind me is my teacher. My teacher, okay? It's absolutely my teacher, yeah? Oh, you're from Indian? Indian, yeah? Indian or Nepal? North Korea? I know him. You know him. You know what? Okay. You mean Daniel? Okay. So let's continue talk about the story. Okay. Compare that to Yato's cousin. North Korea don't use net. How do you know that? Okay. Okay, so about 6 months ago, I met Kim Yong. Kim Yong right here. Kim Yong come to my lab sepsis. Okay, so let's continue talk about the story. Okay, so come back that to her cousin. Okay, Yato's cousin. Yato's cousin also got this cancer. South Korea. Okay, okay, that's good. That's cool. Okay. So let's continue to talk about the story, okay? Let's continue to talk about the story. So Yato's cousin got the stomach cancer and he was so scared and he jumped off a building and committed suicide. And Yato got the tongue cancer. Okay, and Yato lived for more 4 years. Although the doctor said they knows that she only have 2 or 3 months left to live. Why? Two people, same diagnosis, totally different ending. I'm not playing the game. Okay, so about 5 years ago, I played the FIFA. I played the FIFA, the football. Yeah. Okay. So now I didn't play the games. Okay. So what kind of game will you prefer? Okay. So how to say that? One of my friend he played the duty call. The Call Duty, that he played the Call Duty. So yeah, you also play the Call Duty, the God of the War. Yeah, that's great. So one of my friend, he's good at Call of Duty. Call of Duty, yeah. One of my friend, he played Call of Duty. Okay, so for me, it's too noisy. It's too noisy. I would prefer to play the FIFA, the football. Okay, yeah. So let's continue talk about the story. Okay, do you know why two people same diagnosis, totally different ending? Why? Just because Yato she connect to our author channel. Yeah, yeah, that's great. That's great. Call of Duty. Messi. Actually, both of them are wonderful. Both of them are wonderful. Actually, Messi is has a good talent, has a good talent in playing football, and Ronaldo, she's training hard to become a superstar. Yeah, both of them are super. Okay, I think both of them are the goat. Yeah, both of them are the goat. Yeah. Um, so what is your favorite? So actually, I prefer. Okay, so who? David Beckham. Okay, David Beckham. Yeah, only one choice. Only one choice. David Beckham. Is that okay? Yeah. Okay. So let's continue talk about the story. Okay, let's continue talk about the story. And Yato, do you know why two people, same diagnosis, totally different ending? Why? Because Yato, she didn't find death. She found freedom in it. She learned that the greatest miracle isn't living longer, it's living with a heart that is awake. That is the book's big lessons right here. Our life isn't measured in years. Our life is measured in the moment of love, gratitude, and courage. So many of us for so many of us waiting for someday to live, someday when we are richer, someday when we are uh, someday when we are less busy, someday when we are perfect. And the Yato said, "No, live now. The books on your hands for reading, okay? At the sounds on your face, a cup of good tea, and a hug from someone you love. Those are the moments that matters. And this book, it will make you put down your phone today and tell the people you care about how much they mean to you, how much they mean to you. Yeah. So here is the first big truth this book slam home. Adversity isn't here to break you, it's here to wake you up. Jato's first move after that diagnosis, can you imagine that? That afternoon, that raining afternoon. And the doctor said she only have 2 or 3 months left to go to live. And she's just wandering in the street in Guangzhou. And then she have no idea what to do. Okay? She want to share the bad news to someone, but when Yato checked her phone, that she found nobody that she could talk about the bad news happened to her. Okay, she didn't want to tell the bad news to her parents, it, even though Yato felt that her parents didn't love her. Yeah, because she didn't want to share the bad news to her parents to make their parents feel nervous, feel fear and sad. Okay, so in China, we didn't share the bad news to our parents. How about you? Will you share the bad news to your parents? So I remember, even though in the tough periods in our life, in my life, I once shared the bad news to my mother and to my father. So every time, yeah, never, yeah, of course, every time when I talk phone to my parents, I will always sharing the good news to them. I will always sharing the good news to them. Yeah, and also Yato, she didn't want to share the bad news to her parents, and she didn't want to phone to her fourth husband just because her fourth husband he didn't talk to them. Yeah, but sometimes no news is good news. Okay, no, yeah. So let's continue to talk about that. Okay, let's see. Yato, she didn't want to call her fourth husband. Why? Just because her fourth husband betrayed her. Her fourth husband betrayed her. And then it made Yato feel so hurt. She didn't want to uh, she didn't want to look like a joke to her fourth husband. Yeah. And then she didn't when she find the best friend to talk, okay, she couldn't find any best friend to share the bad news. So at that moment, Yato find a business card in her purse. Okay, that business card is from our author Xuemo's book, Beyond Empathiness. Beyond Empathiness. This book, and this book was sent by a reader when Yato go to join the reading corner. When Yato go to join the reading corner, and this book was sent by a reader, and also the reader said the reader also give Yato a business card of our author Xuemo. And then the reader sincerely told him, so if you met any problems in your life, just call our author Xuemo. Yeah, I also take the live stream on Amazon. Amazon. Yeah, no, Amazon. Yeah. How do you know that? No. Yeah. So let's continue to talk about the story, okay? So that friend told him, ah, so yeah, Amazon's live stream, yeah. So you're so great, okay? Yeah. So let's continue to talk about the story. Okay, let's continue to talk about the story. So and the girl sent Yato the book his own empathies. And then the girl also give the business card or author Sherman's business card to the main character of Yato. And then for me, so actually I love Brazil, okay? But nowadays, Brazil is not the best, not the best. Yeah, I think Argentina, it will be the best. Argentina, yeah, and French or Argentina, yeah. So, but I love Brazil, yeah. Neymar, yeah. So okay, Neymar is not the in the best, yeah. And also I love the Casemiro. So I love for the book for the football club. I will love the MU Manchester United. Manchester United, yeah. So I love Manchester United about yeah. She was injured. Yeah, she was injured. So I love this football club for about 20 years. 20 years. Okay. So let's continue to talk about the book, okay? Eternal love, yeah. Yeah, here is the first big truth this book slam home. China, China. Uh, the team of China always made us disappointed, okay? always, always let Chinese people disappointed, okay? Okay, the team of China is just like a joke, okay? Just like a joke. So there are a lot of reasons. There are a lot of reasons, yeah. So let's continue to talk about the book, okay? Let's okay. The prayer are not so good, okay, and the foundation is not so good, yeah, and the football environment in China are not so good, yeah. You know that? Can you imagine that some football match are fake? Some football match are fake, and the football player and gambling. Can you imagine that? The football match, the football player they gambling during the match. Yeah, yeah. That's not about the economy. That's not about the economy. Okay, that's about the environment. The environment. You know that the football player gambling. Can you imagine that? Yeah. So yeah. So you also bet which team bet on the teams, yeah, yeah, okay. So let's continue to talk about the book. Okay, let's come back to talk about the book, my friend. No, no. Here is the first big truth this book slam home. Adversity isn't here to break you; it's here to wake you up. Jack took the first move. After that, the gnosis. Okay, she picks up the book. Okay, and then do you know that? Did you know that she didn't want to talk to anyone? And then, okay, UFC. Mm. Our author Xuemo, he loved to watch the match of the UFC. Yeah, he loved the match of the UFC. Yeah, every Sunday they have a UFC match. Yeah. So let's continue to talk about the book. Okay, let's continue to talk about the story. So and Yato, she got the business card from our author Xuemo, okay, from a reader, and then Yato she just when she was wandering in the street in Guangzhou, okay, after that diagnosis, and then she have no idea what to do. Okay, so remember there is a business card on his in his purse. So she does something crazy. She does something crazy. She phoned Mrs. Xuemo as a stranger. She decided to phone Mrs. Xuemo or author Xuemo as a stranger. So after Mrs. Xuemo answered the phone, okay, Yato, the main character of Yato in Eternal Love, she couldn't stop for crying. She couldn't stop for crying. She just cried and cried. She cried for half an hour. She cried for half an hour, yeah. And then and then so after and on the other side of the phone, Mrs. Sherman just listened for Yato to cry for half an hour. And then Yato tell everything happened to her. And do you know what did our author Sherman said? Mrs. Sherman didn't say it will be okay. Yeah. Because let's be real. Yeah, Mrs. Sherman also watched the UFC. Okay. That is the only match he watched, the UFC. Yeah. Uh, so Mr. Sherman's nephew told me that he also loved the UFC. Okay. Do you know why? Do you know why? When when Mr. Sherman's nephew was looking what as I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Okay, I'm so afraid of teacher Xiamo, yeah. So I didn't thought about, I cannot, thought about the private things with Mr. Xiamo, yeah. I didn't know, yeah. Yeah, I didn't know that. So is it there's a Chinese boxer? Yeah, is there a Chinese boxer, female boxer? Yeah. Mm, Ali, I know him. Ali is I know him. Yeah, and also I know how to say that man. Okay, that man is called Tyson. Yeah, Tyson. Yeah, I also know Tyson, Jackie Chan, Bruce Lee. They're not on the UFC, my friend. Yeah. So let's continue to talk about the story. Yeah. Can you imagine that? And yeah, Mike Tyson. Yeah, she was a monster. Yeah, he's a monster. He's a monster. So he also take a movie in China. Okay, that is just like a comedy, just like comedy in China. Yeah, yeah. Okay, let's continue to talk about the story. Okay, so after Mr. Xuemo answered the phone, okay, our auto Xuemo, he didn't say it will be okay because let's be real, that's usually when Yato is starting down death. Our auto Xuemo said, let's use this. Let's turn this fear into something that teach you who you really are. Yeah. Do I bother you? No. No. No, no. Yeah, I'm so happy you're here with me. Okay, I'm so happy. Yeah. So let's continue to talk about the book. Let's continue to talk about the book. Yeah. You know that anything is impermanent. Anything is impermanent. Even though Tyson was a boxer, she was so rich, and then Tyson Tyson was broke up. Yeah, he was broke up. Yeah, he broke up. You know that? Have you read the news about Tyson? Yeah. So let's continue to talk about the story, okay? And then our author Xuemo give Yato the guidance. Yeah, he made mess. Yeah, he made mess. So let's continue to talk about the story. Yeah. And then our author Xuemo give Yato the guidance. Yeah, he went to the jail too. Yeah. And our author Xuemo just give the guidance to our main character Yato. And Yato, after she got the guidance from our author Xuemo, okay, she transformed the fear into the inner balance, into the inner peace. Yeah. So there is a messages just like this, a messages just like this, and our author Shamo sent Yato the message of the guidance, how to transform the fear into the inner balance, into the inner balance. Yeah. Now I'm going to sharing you. Do you do full times this? You mean the live streamer? No, just a part time job for me. Okay. Yeah, just part time. Yeah. So I do the live sessions 3 hours a day, 3 hours a day. Yeah. What are you doing? Uh, what do you do? Okay, so actually, I'm a culture volunteer right here. I'm a culture volunteer right here. Do you know that? No, I don't. So, So let's continue to talk about the story, okay? So and our author Schirmer show the give Yato the guidance. Okay, do you good at math? No, I'm not good at math. Yeah. So when I in my Gaokao, okay, the entrance, the ent the enter to the university exam. So my math is the weakest subject. Okay. So 150 points, I only get about 60. I only get about 60. Yeah, can you imagine that? Yeah, you know the Gaokao. Yeah. So and the Gaokao just finished in June 7 to 8. Yeah, about a week ago. A week ago. Yeah. So that's game changing. That's game changing, right? Our auto streamer give Yata the guidance how to transform the fear into the inner balance. So you can also take the guidance from this book. You can also take the guidance from this book. Now I'm going to share you good news about the eternal love. Okay, on Amazon, yeah, very stressing exam. Very stressing exam. Yeah. Can you imagine that a lot of people about okay, about maybe about 1,000 students they got qualified to the university. Okay, okay. Do you know that the best university in China is about we call it 985 University and the 211 University. Okay, at the best is the 981 and 985. The 985 University is about just like the Peking University, Tsinghua University, and Fudan University, and Zhejiang University, and Harbin Industrial University. So this kind of the 985 University, and the the next is about the 211 University. Okay, yeah. So let's continue to talk about the book. Okay, that's game changing, right? Our auto streamers give Yata the guidance how to transform the fear into the inner balance. Okay, so many of our things when the bad things happens, we are just victims. Hi, yeah, Taha, nice to meet you. Yeah, okay, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Yeah, if you're new here, don't forget to subscribe our channel. Yeah. Uh, I don't know. I don't know. That's not my business. That's not my business. So I think that's impossible. Yeah. Hi. Nice to meet you. Thank you. Taha, nice to meet you. Taha, have you ever read a book written by Chinese author Xuemo? So I'm going to share you a story. I'm going to share you a story. Yeah, yeah, okay. So I'm going to share you a story about our author Xuemo go to the Frankfurt Book Fair. So there is a book about the Gulang Sutra. Okay, the Sutra, a very beautiful one, a very beautiful one. A lot of readers just want to buy this sutra, okay, and then the publishers will- they won't sell the book to the readers pass away. So and our author streamer go to the publisher and both go to the book stand. Yeah, and our autism said our autism look this book just as a treasure, and then our autism introduced himself to the publisher, and our autism show how he loved the books. Yeah, do you believe in Morse? Uh, what? Yeah, I don't know that. Maybe I don't know that. I don't know that. Yeah, Taha. Just show me that. So, and our auto human just go to the publisher to take that sutra. Okay, the Islam sutra, a very, very beautiful one. A Musa. Oh, you mean the Musa? Yeah. Okay. I don't know that. I don't know that, my friend. So, and our auto human take the most beautiful book of your Islam sutra, the one from the Bible. Yeah, Quran, the Quran. Yeah. the most beautiful Quran books are in our author book right here. Yeah. So you also mixing the word knowledge is girl talking, really? Yeah. Okay. Karanan, nice to meet you, Karanan. Yeah. So let's continue to talk about the book. Okay. You won't miss this book. Okay. Okay. This book is also a beautiful lady. A beautiful lady. Yeah. Okay. See you. Have a nice day. Thank you so much. Okay. Yeah. Thank you. I'm waiting for your comments. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So let's continue to talk about the story. Okay. So our author Shima go to the publisher and to show how he loved the book, the Quran. Okay. And then the publisher just send the book to our author Shima. Last year, Vancouver Book Fair. Yeah. So our author Shima has the most beautiful of the Quran uh, in in our Autonomous library upstairs. Yeah. So let's continue to talk about the book. Okay. Let's continue to talk about the book. Yeah. So many of us think when the bad things happens, we are just victim. But the main character Yato learns slowly, painfully, but surely that her cancer wasn't a death sentence for her spirit. Yeah. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Yeah. So let's continue to talk about the story, okay? And Yato's cancer wasn't a death sentence for her spirit. It was a chance to stop running from her life and start living it. Yeah? Can you imagine that? Yato starts writing down every thought, every memory, everything she's grateful for. She also reconnect with her sister that she hadn't spoken to in years. She even start visiting other cancer patients in the hospital just to listen. Has anyone here ever had something terrible happen that ends up push you to growth? Not that you don't wish it on yourself, but that made you a better person. Yeah. Drop that story in the comments if you have comfortable sharing. Yeah. I will read every single one. So hi viewer. I'm here to share you the book written by Chinese author Xuemo. Yeah. Eternal Love. And this book is about a lady who got a tongue cancer at the age of 28. At the age of 28. And then the doctor says she only have 2 or 3 months left to live. But under the guidance by our author Shermore, she lived for more 4 years. Although her body was in agony, but her mind was peaceful. Can you imagine that? Can you imagine that? Yeah. So let's talk about the heart about this book, connection. Yato wasn't surrounded a, Yato wasn't surrounded by a huge support system. She had a few people, but most of the time she felt alone. Yeah, you guess what? Yeah, I imagine that. You imagine what? Okay. Oh, you mean the economy will pass US? I don't know. I don't know. Maybe someday in future. Maybe someday in future. Yeah. The US is the most developing country. Okay, developed country. Yeah. And China is a developing country. Yeah. So that's different. That's different. So we have to trace US economy at least 100 years. Okay. Even though the Chinese economy is developing so fast. Yeah. So let's continue to talk about the book, okay? Let's continue to talk about the book. Let's talk about the heart about this book, connection. Yato wasn't surrounded by a huge support system. Yato has a few people, but most of the time she felt alone. But that one call to our author share more, it turned into a years-long correspondence. Yeah, Elon Musk. Yeah, Elon Musk is so rich, okay? But Elon Musk has son doctor, as a son doctor, yeah. So let's continue to talk about the pool, okay? Okay, Jack Ma. Jack Ma, okay, some people say that Jack Ma lived in Japan. Jack Ma lived in Japan, yeah. So when Jack Ma started his business on the digital bank, okay, so that is how to say that when Jack Ma do the business with the digital bank, why didn't he tell us? I don't know. So so Alibaba is good. The audio problems low. So yeah, Yama, nice to meet you. Yeah, that's great. That's great. So Yama, how's anything? If you're new here, have you ever subscribed our channel, Yamas? Yamas, Yamas. Okay. So let's continue to talk about the book. Okay, Eternal Love, written by Chinese author Xuemo. Yeah. So Yato wasn't surrounded by a huge support system. She only had a few people, but most of the times felt alone. Okay, I got it. So you mean Wendy and Jan or Joanna? Yeah, yeah. So today the the next company come to our academy to check the light. Okay, so maybe they solve the problem. Maybe they solve the problems. Uh, I don't know what you are talking about. I don't know what you're talking about. You mean the population, yeah, or the knowledges, yeah. So the puppy was hitting because the puppy was biting some people right here, yeah. The puppy was was okay. Can you hear the voice of the puppy? Yeah. So let's continue to talk about the book. Okay, let's continue to talk about the book. Okay, but that one caught Seattle has a few people, but most of the times it fell alone. But that one call to our author channel, I don't know what is called Karanan talking about. Okay, yeah, Yammer, have you ever subscribed our channel? Have you ever subscribed our channel? If you're new here, don't forget to subscribe our channel. Yeah, no, okay. So American, that's the way that they get them, they made them rich. Okay, that's the way they made them rich. Okay, so let's continue to talk about it. Okay, so most of the time, Yato has a few people, but most of the times fell alone. But that one call to our author Xuemo, it turned into a years-long correspondence. That one connection changed everything. So Yato's their letters are not fancy. Yato write about throwing up after chemo and how much he hate the hospital food. And our author Xuemo write back of his old struggle about the time he felt like giving up on his writing. So can you imagine that as a writer in China? As a writer, he writes about more than 80 titles. Our author Xuemo has also have a tough period on his writing. Okay, he was always giving up on his writing. Can you imagine that, Mr. Xuemo? Mr. Xuemo write in totally 5 years. In totally 5 years, Mr. Xuemo cannot write a single character. He cannot write a single characters. And and also, yeah, Mr. Xuemo is a great writer. Yeah. And then Mr. Xuemo cannot write a single word in totally 5 years. So during the period, the top period of autism write this book, there's a rise. Yeah, our autism cannot write a single word in totally 5 years. He almost give up on his writing. So, and also our autism will give the guidance to Yato. Can you imagine that? The first time, Yato was feeling exhausted after the chemo, and the doctor and the nurse, yeah, the eyes, okay, the eyes and fire, yeah. So there's one book written by our author Xuemo, okay, and some critics they say this book as, as good as the ice and fire, yeah. That book is so long. That book is so long. 8 books altogether. 8 books altogether. Okay. So let's continue to talk about the book. Okay. Later, I'm going to show you. Okay. Literary. Yeah, literary. Yeah, the literary one. This book is also yeah. And then no, I didn't watch. I didn't watch. Read the Game of the Thorn. The Game of the Thrones. Yeah. Maybe I will check this book later. The Game of Thrones. Yeah. So let's continue to talk about this book. Okay. Next time when I talk about the Sosalan, okay, when I share the Sosalan to you, I will talk about Mr. Schwimmer's book compared to the ice and the fire. Okay. So let's continue to talk about this book, okay? Eternal Love. So when Yato was feel exhausted after the chemo, and our author Schumer give Yato the guidance is just like that. So our author Schumer told to Yato, so when you're doing the chemo, okay, you just don't feel that, you just don't judge the chemo if you hurt your body. So eternal, what's the meaning of eternal? Okay, eternal, that is nothing, is that is some kind of permanence, but nothing is impermanent. Okay, but anything is impermanent. So what thing is impermanent? Okay, the some people said that the books are eternal. Okay, the books are eternal. So I'm going to show you what is eternal. So our author Sherman write this book and take the letters, take Yato's letters, and turn them into this book that is eternal. So Yato's friend start a program to support the cancer patient in Yato's name that is eternal, and also Yato's nephew planted tomatoes every year in her honor. That is eternal. So that eternal is the eternal is according to your mind. Yeah, and actually there is something our mind in our chest that it will be eternal. Yeah. So let's continue to talk about the book. Okay, the story. So when you are feeling you are suffering from the chemo, so you will be hurt, you will be exhausted by the chemo, and then our autosomal give Yato the guardians is like that. So when you're doing the chemo, you just imagine that all the good energies, all the positive energies, just uh, nourish your body, just like the sunshine nourish your body, and then all the good energies will nourish your body, and then your body, your physical will become more and more healthy. So, and do you know what happens the second times? Yato just follow our autism's guidance to do the chemo. Yeah, I love the movies about just like the Star Wars series. Of course, I love the movies. Yeah, and our author book, That's a Hunter will get movie. We get movie in August 2026. August. Now is No, it's June. Yeah, 2 months later. 2 months later. Yeah, this book we've got we get movies. So my favorite movies is about Star Wars. How about you? Star Wars. So I also love the Indian movies. The Indian movies, and how to say that movie is called how to say that you never watch you never you never watch the Star Wars. That's great. The Three Idiots. Yeah, and another one is called Denga. Yeah, Denga. So I love that movie Denga. Okay, Denga is so great. Denga, yeah, Denga. I love that movie Denga. Yeah. So let's continue to talk about the book. Let's continue to talk about the book. Okay. So and do you know what happens? Yeah, the Denga, the resting movie. Yeah, the resting movie. Yeah. And then do you know what about what happened to Yato when Yato follow? Okay. Uh, guitar, the baby shark. Sunny, nice to meet you. Okay, I cannot sing that song. I cannot sing that song, Sunny. Sunny, if you're new here, don't forget to subscribe our channel. This is Louis from Western China. I'm here to share you the book written by Chinese author Xuemo. Yeah. So let's continue to talk about the story. Okay, when Yato follow our author Xuemo's guidance and he take and he go to the chemo again, the chemo treatment. Okay, so no, don't know. Dita like Dita. Okay, I don't know her. Yeah, yeah. So let's continue to talk about the story. Okay. So Vinyato follow our Autonomous guardian, and then she just imagine that all the good energies, all the positive energies just nourish his body, nourish her body, and then the second comes when he do after the chemo. Ah, that lady. I only watched the movie, but I don't know their names. Okay, the actress. Yeah, the actress. Okay. So hi, Fact. Nice to meet you, Fact. Yeah, you found me. You found me right here. Okay. So let's continue to talk about the story. Okay. So when Yato follow our autism's guardian, when Yato follow our autism's guardian, and then do you know what happens? They go to do the chemo. Just imagine, do the meditation. Imagine all the good energies nourish her body, and she went out of the hospital as a normal people the second time. Okay, and she go to join the reading corner after the chemo. So that is the game changings. That's the mind changings. Okay, that's the mind changings. Okay, that's the mind changings. Yeah, fact. Nice to meet you. Okay, so let's continue to talk about the book. Ah, you mean in my area the weather is so? Oh, wow, that's great, fact. So you can will you share us some pictures? Okay, so you can post some pictures on your channel. Yeah. So let's continue to talk about the book. Okay, let's continue to talk about the book. How can I? I don't know. You can maybe your channel. You can post some pictures on your channel. Yeah. So I can let's see. Maybe I can find your channel. Okay, and see your pictures. Okay, so let's continue to talk about the story. Okay, so our author Seamus asked Yato the questions. What is one thing you was always want to do but were too scared? Who is the person you regret not saying I love you to? I don't know. I don't know. Is this how the community features? Okay, just like that. Can you see our channel have the video? Have the video? Yeah. So you can make the pictures become a video. Yeah. Use the AI to make the pictures become a video. Yeah. Do you have the community fictions in this channel? No. No, I don't know that. I don't know how to do that. Okay. Is there a community channel? Let's see. Uh, no, no. Okay, I cannot find that. I cannot find that. Okay, fact. So, okay, I don't know how to open that. Only find the chat and anyone and the new delays. No, I cannot find that. I cannot find that. I cannot find that. No, that is not the way. Okay. Hi, my name is Louis. No, no. Louis from Western China, yeah? So let's continue to talk about the book, okay? Let's continue to talk about the book. So this book, it will teach us that love isn't about how many followers you have or how many family members are around. Yeah. LV. Yeah, thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. Okay. So this book will teach us that love isn't about how many followers you have or how many family members are around. It's about one person who sees you, really sees you. Our author Xuemo didn't fix Yato's cancer. Yeah. Actually, at the very beginning of when Yato connect to our author Xuemo, our author Xuemo actually fixed Yato's cancer. So when through the standing meditation and the guidance from our author Shema, Yato just fixed his cancer, her cancers at the very beginning, and then Yato come back to work again. She come back to work. Have you ever been to US? No, no. Our author Shema wanted to send me to US. When I go to the immigrant agency, I go to the immigrant agency to do the interview. I do fail in the interview. Yeah, I do fail in the interview. I don't know why. I don't know why. Okay. Yeah. So let's continue to talk about the story. Okay. Let's continue to talk about the story. Okay. I have been only in China. Only in China. Yeah. So how about you? No, no. How about you? Visiting countries is normal. Visiting Mars is also normal. So, fact, I know you are from normal. You're, yeah, fact, I know you're from the Mars. Okay, the Mars. Yeah. So let's continue to talk about this book. Okay. And yet, the story proved that one real conversation, one person who shows up, is all it would take to feel human again. Think about that person's in your life. Maybe it's a friend. Nunu, yeah. Okay. I've never leave my countries. Me too. Me too. Okay. Me too. Yeah. The sun. Visit the sun. Okay. And then you will get born. Okay. Hi, Daniel. Nice to meet you. Hi. Okay, I was almost leaving, and then you come here, Daniel. Yeah, long time no see. Okay, where have you been these days? These 2 days? Yeah, I know that. Yeah, yeah, I know that. Mm, okay, never be late. Never be late. Okay. Yeah. Okay, Daniel, Nunu. Okay, I have to go. Okay, I have to go. Okay. Fact, Elon Musk. Fact, maybe Elon Musk. Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Daniel. Okay, I have to go. Okay, I have to go. See you. Have a nice day, Nunu. Fact. Okay, have a nice day. Okay. So see you tomorrow. Okay, see you. Have a nice day. Okay, I have to go. Yeah. Okay. Goodbye. Fact. Nunu, Daniel, and Yama.